So, welcome everyone. Today, I am going to walk you through the pros and cons of having a professional email address and business phone number. I hear this all the time from agency owners and from business owners because they have a professional or they have a Gmail address or Yahoo, or they want to use their cell phone number. And that might seem convenient in the beginning, but I'm going to explain to you why it's not, and also how we can basically convince them that it's not. Because if you have a client who's like, "Well, I want to use my Gmail." It's cool, and they probably do, and I totally understand why they would because it's probably what they've always done. But just because they've always done it doesn't mean that it's best practices. But just like us, when we are talking to business owners, they need to be convinced. You have to sell them on why they need to have a business phone number and a professional email address. Now, we know we've been talking for the last week about email addresses, how to get it all set up, email sending domains, warming up your email, and all of that. But you can't do any of that unless you have a professional email address. So I wanted to talk about that today. I also wanted to tell you guys that we are, the open office hours, the some of these sessions, they are going to expire. So I just wanted to remind you guys that if you wanted to check out any of those, you definitely want to do that before they expire. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. First, I want to show you, give me just a second. First, for those of you watching on the replay, if you are interested in joining our reseller program, you could go to myvisionagency.com. You can click here to sign up for a free plan. If you want to create a high level account using my affiliate link, if you already have high level, you can actually get a free starter plan by upgrading to the SaaS plan. And if you're not ready for SaaS or you're already on SaaS, you can actually join directly here. You'll see all of those plans. If you'd like to join our free community, it does not include this session, but I am live Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with open office hours. So you can join our free community to access that. Now, inside of the Zoom lobby, when you are looking for any of the replays, like I said, they do expire in 30 days. So if you go to this event here, you'll see this was a month ago. These are going to expire. So you have the training that we did to how to automate responses to Facebook based on keywords, positive and negative. Also, the non-keywords, positive and negative, how to create a presentation in minutes using AI, and then how to clean your contacts with bulk actions. So definitely check all of those out if you're interested before they expire. All right. Now, I'm going to walk you through this little presentation here, but before I do that, you guys, I love giving you free stuff. So I want to give you this template here because, we talk about the 4-hour workday, we talk about creating training in our community, and this is a great lead magnet / training for your community members so that, for example, you can explain to them, why do you need a professional business email and phone number? That would be a great client to take on in our account. So I'm going to stop sharing here. I'm going to add this to the chat so you guys can check all of this out. I did put this on Canva so that you can import it and edit it and add your own brand colors and all of that. Let me hit, I guess it would help if I clicked enter when I shared. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share this here, or present it rather. Okay. So, as I said, why you and your clients need a professional email address or professional business communications. So, stop using your personal phone numbers and email addresses. This is so important. And the purpose of this presentation here is to show you exactly why. Now, the problem using personal communications for business, 85% of small businesses use their personal phone number to conduct business. Personal email addresses like Gmail and Yahoo instantly signal amateur to potential clients. Even before I was in marketing, if I was contacting a business and they had a Gmail email address, it just seemed super, super amateur to me. It didn't look like a legit business. And then I always questioned that. And I know that you guys, especially now being in marketing, I know that you look at that and you think, oh, I hate it. It's like cringe. We need to have a professional email. Otherwise, like I said, it's just so amateur. Using personal communications, it destroys your work-life balance with 24/7 interruptions. I know a lot of you guys realize this. We talk all the time about the 4-hour workday. And in that 4-hour workday strategy, there is a time that you set aside in the morning and the evening to respond to all of your communications. But if you are constantly receiving notifications the evening, the weekend, and all of that, it absolutely, even if you don't jump up and go run to your laptop and start working, it crowds your mind and it makes you not present with your family or whatever it is that you're doing in that off time. So it's really, really important to keep those communications separate. Also, personal communications, it prevents business growth by creating bottlenecks and limiting team collaboration. If you're using your personal accounts, they do not have the ability to invite team members and things like that. So you definitely now you become the only person who can do anything for your business. Obviously, that's not a great way to scale. Let me let William in here. Okay, so credibility and trust. Ugh, we talk about this all the time. 75% of customers find a company branded email more credible than a personal Gmail or Yahoo. So on the previous slide, we were talking about like my personal opinion. It's icky, right? We all who are educated in marketing, we know it's so super icky, but these are not people who are educated in marketing. This is just 75% of customers. If 75% of customers find this not credible, then that means only 25% are finding it acceptable. Are we really promoting and are we really running ads to people just to only attract 25%? Not likely. That is not a sustainable practice. 43% higher response rate for calls from business owners with professional voicemail greetings versus personal phone numbers. 43%. You guys, that's a lot. 67% of potential customers will search elsewhere if they see unprofessional contact information. I am one of those people. I absolutely will. So the business impact, so the real costs, 67% reduction in potential customer calls when using a personal phone number. You guys, if you could increase your sales, just to flip that, if you could increase your sales 67% by doing something simple like creating a business phone number, doesn't it seem like that's a no-brainer that you would do that? And if I was talking to a business owner, I would say, what would it mean to you if I could increase the customer interactions by 67%? That's crazy. 43% lower email open rates for personal email addresses. 43%. Okay. It's also $10 to $30 a month for professional communications versus thousands in lost business. So if I'm talking to a business owner and I'm telling him, look, we could easily increase by 67% and then also increase your open rates by the opposite of that, whatever the math is. That is incredible just for these small little tweaks. So the pros and cons, the complete picture here. Personal communications, obviously, it's easy because there's no additional cost. It's a quick setup and everyone's used to it, like Gmail. We're all used to it. But the cons are it's incredibly unprofessional. The work-life separation is non-existent, limited security features, and then no team collaboration. So obviously the professional pro would be enhanced credibility and trust, work-life balance, advanced security features, team collaboration capabilities. And then the cons are, there is a cost. You do have the initial setup time, and then the learning curve for new systems. However, if you're using like Google Workspace, it's Gmail. It's just a professional version of Gmail. So, business communication integration benefits. So, why your business communications must be inside of your CRM. Now, I would replace this with CRM. And then if I was showing this to a client, I would want to add my own CRM here. Okay. This is just unbranded for you guys. So, obviously, we have the unified conversation tab, all client communications in one place, emails, texts, calls together for complete conversation history, all in that conversation tab. So that alone should be a selling point for getting a professional email address and a business phone number. Call recordings and transcripts. Oh my gosh, if you have a team or want a team, this is absolutely crucial. So it automatically records and transcribes every client call for training, quality assurance, and compliance documentation. Also, I love that. Have you ever had a conversation with a client and you had to take notes? That's distracting to the conversation. But if you don't take notes, then you may forget something that you talked about or whatever. And so those call recordings and transcripts are really, really important. Email campaign integration. Obviously, we can send professional email campaigns directly from the CRM with tracking, automation, and follow-up sequences. Can't do that on a personal email. We also have the analytics and tracking. So we measure everything with a professional email address. And I walked you through that process and all of the different options this past week. So call durations, response times, open rates, conversion metrics, all of that in one place because we can track it because it is a business email address. So inside of your CRM, the communication features, we have the business phone number, which has call tracking for within the duration, time, and caller information, automatic call recordings for training and quality assurance, AI transcription converts calls to searchable text, professional voicemail system with customizable greetings, the business email system, email campaigns sent directly from client accounts, open rates tracking and engagement analytics, automated follow-up sequences based on customer actions, and professional templates with custom branding. All of that is possible because we're using high level and because we're using a business email address. If you're sending from a personal Gmail, you cannot send campaigns. You will get blacklisted, but we are able to track that. Also, we talk about how we want to protect our email sending domain. And when we're sending to people, we want to make sure that we're sending the most engaged users. How can we do that if we can't track any of these things? Workflow automation with business communication. So we can, with the automated communication workflows, we can trigger events based on like form submissions, calls, and emails, automatically create contacts and update pipelines, automated responses, and send immediate professional emails or texts from business accounts. Call scheduling with automatic reminders sent from business phone number, follow-up sequences based on client actions, all tracked in the conversation tab. The business intelligence and reporting, communication analytics, track response rates, call durations, and conversion metrics. AI insights, identify patterns, and suggest improvements. I just went past that quickly for some reason. Let me go back here. And then custom dashboards. So we can show real-time performance of business communications. So this is where we want to say that you need, business owner, you need to act now because here's the cost of waiting. And when I talk about what we are going to tell a business owner to convince them that they need to get rid of their Gmail email address, and I'm not saying get rid of, they can still use it, sign up for software, email lists, whatever they want to use it for. But when we are sending information to our customers or our leads, it needs to be through a system and it needs to be a professional system. Otherwise, it's like I said in the beginning, it's one of those simple things that we can do fairly easily and quickly that can make a huge difference in your business. So every day you wait, business owner, costs you potential clients who choose competitors with professional communications. This isn't my opinion. I showed you the stats in the beginning. It's insane. Security vulnerabilities that put your business and client data at risk, especially if you are in the medical field and you are sending emails to patients or even your staff member, you are vulnerable with the security risks. And then personal time. So lost to after hours calls and constant interruptions. Even if you see that notification on your phone that you have an email, even if you don't look at it, it's going to be in your brain. It's going to be a distraction. And all of these little distractions that we have when we're not working, it takes away from the fact that we actually stepped away from our business. We want to be present with our families, or if you're on a boat somewhere in the ocean just enjoying God's beautiful creation, the last thing you want is a little ding and there's an email of something about your business that's stuck in your head. You'll think about it until you actually call. Just don't do it to yourself. So why can't you wait another day? I'll let Raymond in here. So the setup takes less than an hour, but the benefits start immediately. Cost is minimal, $10 to $30 a month compared to lost business. Your competitors are already using professional communications. You can still use your same device. Only the customer side changes. You can actually forward the emails to the Gmail if they really want to. You can do the same with the phone number, but we want everything that customer sees to be professional. Implementation is simple and straightforward with immediate benefits. Even if you guys were a total beginner, if you watch this week's training, you will be up to date. You will understand exactly how to set all of this up. So 67% of potential customers will choose competitors with professional communication. 43% lower email open rates mean nearly half of your messages are being ignored, and 100% preventable with immediate implementation of business phone and email. So trying to explain this to your clients, these are the key points that you can share with them. Your business deserves to make the best first impression possible. A professional email and phone number instantly boost your credibility. 75% of customers find businesses with branded emails more trustworthy than those using Gmail or Yahoo. There's also a legal risk. So the FTC Act requires businesses to implement reasonable security measures to protect customer data. Personal accounts do not qualify. So compliance violation, personal accounts don't meet GDPR, CCPA, or HIPAA requirements for data protection and record keeping. Highlight the CRM platform benefits. All your communications will be centralized in one place. No more switching between apps. You'll have complete records of every client interaction for better follow-up, and your team can collaborate seamlessly on client communications. So here's the part. If you're presenting this to the client, you want to say, so let's take action today. Set up your CRM, integrate your communications, automate workflows. All right. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. Hopefully you rebrand that, show it to your clients, add it to something weird happened there. Add it to your community, your course area, and use it as a lead magnet. Explain to them exactly why it's so important that they get these things set up for their business. Charles, you have a question?
You're muted.
Hello,
Hi.
can you hear me now? Yeah. All right. I wanted to say more of a comment. I thought that this was really terrific. And the joke to me was the fact that, Bridget, you talk about the fact that you don't like to sell, but yet and still, I thought that this was a very good sales presentation that we could present to clients. And then I also thought the second layer of the sale that happened there was you did a good job in selling it to us. And I really like to highlight the fact that you really, in the beginning, identified the problem and really hammered in on that and then provided the solution, which was sales 101. So I think it was fabulous.
Thank you. That means a lot because you are the salesperson for sure. I appreciate it. So, you guys, it's Charles approved. So, you guys use this presentation, show the value of the service that you're providing, that so many need it. And how do you find clients that need this? Look on Google. If they have a Gmail, they're your perfect client. Hook them up. Send your training video to their Gmail address and say, this is a huge problem. Do you even realize that you're missing out on 75% of your customer base? Martina?
It is amazing how you're always providing us exactly what it is that we need without even a lot of the times hearing us say what we need. So by you actually pulling this up and presenting it in this professional method, I was able to go to my Manny and say, what I needed in addition to this, because I already have an entire presentation that's been provided by my mentor with all types of statistics and reasons. However, what I do not have is this. I was able to literally type that in because you provided everything that I already say in a casual manner, now in a professional manner. So what I'm asking my additional assistant here to do is now create me the step-by-step process to transition that Gmail person who is already massively successful with their Gmail. How would I take and transition them? Because what I run into is the AOL and the Yahoo and the Gmail person that says, I'm already massively successful with this. Why would I switch? And how do I now learn to be techie? So let me help them understand you still don't have to be techie. You're going to be doing the exact same thing, but you're going to appear more professional now. So thank you for that. That is exactly what I needed to be able to show them on screen the details that you just presented to us. Once again, providing us everything we need before we even ask.
Oh, I'm so glad. You know, when you were saying that, I was thinking, oh man, the people who are worried about, like, well, I've been using this Gmail address for such a long time and I don't want to learn to use something new.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people that you say, oh, well, then you are in the right place because I just happen to be a Google Workspace expert and I
Yes.
easily get you set up on that. And you'll have the exact same interface, except instead of at Gmail, like an amateur, I want to present you branding expert. I want to present your brand in the most professional way while also still providing all of this other, all these other benefits of having a professional email address.
So beautiful. And then the caveat is you've already given us the training for how to set them up on the GWS anyway. Thank you.
Exactly. Cool. Tony?
Hey, Bridget, I'm gonna share my screen because I need you to show me something on Canva.
Sure.
All right.
Even though you might be the Canva expert at this point.
Nah. How do you change out the gradient?
See up there, when you click on it,
Yes.
up there where those little colors are, you just click
Mhm.
on the color and then you can change it to another color.
Okay. I thought I could pick. I thought I would have been able to pick like a gradient I already have. And
Ah,
okay, that's what I wanted to know.
cool.
I already started doing it.
Just to say, see, Bridget, we jump right on it.
Check this
We
out.
are definitely action takers.
I know.
Check this out.
I love it. That's why I love giving you guys stuff. Because you
Already trying to brand it.
Yes. Oh, and I'm so glad that you're showing this, Tony, because I don't know if a lot of you guys realize that Canva makes this so easy to customize because it's like if Tony goes to change a color, it'll actually at the bottom on the left-hand side, it'll say, do you want to change all of this color to this color? And then you can say yeah, and then it will change all on all of the slides, whatever the
Hold
color
on.
was.
How do you do that?
Well,
I'm
just
going
say
to
for words too. Like if you got to change some words, I found that out after I went through a whole bunch of slides and did it individually. I found that, yeah, you can change it and throughout your whole presentation.
Yeah, if you click, go ahead and change something, Tony, and then it'll say,
All right.
there you go. See at the bottom where it says change all?
There you go.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't do it. Oh, hold on.
It may like be a different shade of something because that happens. Like if it's 2 shades of orange or whatever.
Let me try somewhere else. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So like that.
Oh, do the change all at the bottom. You have to do that.
Oh, I have to do them one at a time.
Yeah. If you don't do that, you may have missed your opportunity there. There you go. See at the bottom?
All right. All
Bottom
right.
left. Oh,
I see what you're saying. No, I see what you're saying. Here we go.
there you go.
Oh, no, it won't do that. What's up with that?
Change it to something else and see.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let me go to a different one. Here we go.
It usually only does it when it's like the first time you change it. Otherwise, it just thinks you wanted to do like a one-time change. There you go. No. There you go. At the bottom, change all. There you go. It changes it on all the slides.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Huh. That is crazy.
Yep.
That's pretty
in
cool.
every
Thank you.
place that it's used.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't waste time on that one.
Same. I've got mine open too.
You guys are going to be educating all over the place. I love it. Keith, you have a question?
Yeah, just a quick question. Do you know if High Level will let you port a number you buy through High Level on their Twilio account essentially out to a different provider if you ask?
I don't know. You'd have to
I know
contact.
the answer. I tried it. It's no.
Well, yeah,
No.
that's what I was scared of.
Only here you can. So there's inevitably, like we all talk about, there's customers that like, I've had this number, it's printed all over my truck, so I don't want to change it, blah, 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 blah. Whatever excuses they give you, if you absolutely can't get them to do it and they need to port their number, you have to call High Level and have them give that sub account Twilio directly. And yes, you can do it through Twilio, but you're going to miss all the lead connector advantages and simplicities. It's a little bit different. So yeah, you have to, open up a ticket and say, I need to have Twilio for this sub account. But it is possible. But yeah,
I don't think that you need to have Twilio. I don't think you need to open a support ticket to change it to Twilio. You just need to disable lead connector for that specific sub account, and then it will allow you.
there's no option to select Twilio for them now.
Could you do call forwarding?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, the call forward. I mean, that's all things that we already know that we should do and offer to them. I have one client now I'm wrestling with. He's freaking out because he's gonna have a new Google number, and he's like, no, let's not do that yet. I need to know, blah 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 blah. But yeah, in some instances, I was told this by High Level.
Hang on just a second, right? Keith, were you finished with your question?
Well, Ray, I'm just trying to handle the objection. So I talk with a bunch of realtors. We all have to have our number everywhere. And you gave me some good ammunition in your presentation today, Bridget, to help with that. But the objection I'm trying to overcome is, okay, we set up all these campaigns and automations and you're paying, maybe they start at $500 a month or something with me. And then for whatever reason, I stop doing this or they don't want to use the system anymore. They might not want to lose that, what looks like a cell phone number in my market. So I want to be able to port it out to them to go somewhere else for some sort of $20 a month service. So I'm just wondering if that's possible after the fact, if you buy it through High Level.
Yeah. So, what I would say with that, I mean, if you really want to know for sure, because since High Level changes all the time, you could always contact support and ask them. But I would kind of use that as a selling point, and maybe you want to tell them up front once we create this number. You could also have them use, I guess, because here's what happens. A lot of businesses have like an office number, and that office number is already everywhere. So what a lot of businesses will do is just forward that office number to the High Level number that's created, and then nothing on the customer end actually changes. It's just being forwarded through the system.
Yeah, that in our case, we all start out with our cell phone before we get an office number or whatever. So we have to go the other way around if we want to not have people calling us with spam nonstop and whatever else. But okay, I'll check with High Level. Thanks.
Well, you won't have people contacting you with spam if you put those filters in place.
I'll put them in an endless AI voice loop. Do not hang up. Wait till they hang up. Say, I'm coming. Wait.
One of the things that my husband loved best when I switched to High Level was that when we had our local business, that when someone would call, he never had to answer the phone because at the time we just had missed call text back. But that solved the problem. No more home advisor, no more Better Business Bureau, all of those calls.
Google.
When you're a solo business owner, every time you get that phone call, you have to stop what you're doing, turn the mower off, and then you're all sweaty and hot and everything, and you're answering the phone and you don't have a pen and paper and all this stuff. And you certainly don't want to miss the customers. And at the time, I had a full-time job and he was out in the field working. So obviously, you don't want to miss customer calls. That was a great solution for us. But again, you'll have to you'll have to sell them on that and then talk about a business phone number. Maybe they want to use their personal phone number for like calling people back or whatever, but any type of texting campaigns or any of those things should definitely be done through the system.
Yeah, I had a realtor client, or sorry, a customer, I guess, of mine say, "How many phone numbers do you have?" Because I had system numbers going. So anyway, we'll work it out. Thanks.
Right?
Hey, did I miss something? I know I got here a little late. I was on a training and I totally spaced out. That presentation looked pretty cool. It's something that I deal with all the time, all these objections, and also the Gmail people. And I've had maybe a half a dozen, and I don't know if you discussed this, but I always let them know that on their new email, I had one client call me like 3 days ago and said, "Hey Ray, you can stop the forwarding now. I'm using my Google Workspace email exclusively now after like 4 months." But I let them know that they're not going to miss any emails. All the emails you can forward from their Yahoo to their Gmail. And again, I didn't see the beginning of your presentation but those Yahoo and Gmail emails also, they end, depending on where they're sending them to, they end up in spam, right? There's some spam filters that just totally, like Outlook, Yahoo, AOL, especially those three. Maybe not as much Gmail because they're like the biggest guys out there, and if you're sending Gmail to Google, it's not a big thing. But that's another big reason why I tell them they need to change their Gmails or their Yahoos and stuff.
Yeah, the presentation was actually about that. It was about why businesses need to use professional email address and phone number, business phone number, over
Wow.
their personal account. But I did share the presentation, the Canva version, in the chat for the template. So if you'd like to have that, you can.
Thank you, Keith. Keith just sent it over to me now.
Cool. Martine, are you next or Tony?
I believe Tony was next.
Yeah, I just wanted to give Ray a shout out, man. Yesterday with that whole DNS stuff, he got on a Zoom with me. Man, that dude, he knew what was wrong with the problem without even looking at my screen. We had it fixed in like 5 minutes. So Ray, thank you. You're the best, man. You know your stuff. You don't mess around with that DNS stuff.
I started
man.
a hosting company 25 years ago. I used to do web hosting, and I know my DNS inside, outside, upside.
Yeah, you do, man. Yeah, you do.
My
You
sleep.
I was shocked when he was already describing what was on my screen, and I didn't. That was pretty cool, man. So thanks for taking the time.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Martina?
So I was just gonna ask, and it's almost like a piggyback on what Ray also just mentioned. With regards to when we go through the transitioning process for them, that was what I suggested to them, and you let me know if there's anything that I may be missing in that suggestion. And that is that they go ahead and set up inside of the Gmail that they currently have, the auto reply area that utilizes the new domain-based email, as well as utilize the forwarding to the new domain, the professional domain that we've set up. Between those two steps, and of course, sending out, a dripped mass email once we get them warmed up to everyone, letting them know of the business transition. Is there anything else that I could potentially be missing between those three?
Let me explain this though.
Okay.
So this part here, I want to make sure that you guys understand. If you put the reply to address, so if they don't want to receive any communications at all inside the CRM, so you've set up their email sending domain, all their email address, all of that stuff is set up, and they're like, I don't even want to log into the CRM. I want to use my Gmail, and they're super adamant about it. You can put their Gmail email address here, and it will, anytime someone replies, it will go right to their email address. However, having said that, keep in mind that those replies will not come into the CRM. So if you want basically a copy, you can put the forwarding address here, and then you can also BCC someone here. So since you
Okay, I guess where I was also questioning was inside of their actual Gmail, where they're actually conducting business, unprofessional business right now. In that reply to area that's in that side there, could they put their new domain based? Because of course we want them to move over to their domain based email. That's the first thing that I've suggested that they do to begin to have that reply method in use for their new domain. I have them go in their Gmail and put their new domain base. But I'm glad you pointed that out inside of their new domain base. I guess at this point, I want to make sure that it doesn't create a loop now that I've seen that area inside of our GHL.
So it's like what Ray was just saying about, he had a client who was like, I'm now using my Google Workspace email.
Mhm.
If they want to do that, they can just go inside their Gmail account and then just forward all those emails to their professional email address. Because, when you set up Google Workspace, you have your own inbox. It looks like Gmail, all of that stuff.
Correct.
So that may be something, again, that they want to do.
Okay. I think that would be for those resistant clients, that would be the method that we would use. And then for the accepting clients who do want to use the correct domain based and they do understand the power of having everything in one place and being able to see all the consistent correspondence in one place, then we would utilize the GHL method.
Yeah,
Thank you.
when I first went to Google Workspace, I had the two different emails. I
Mhm.
actually had three emails because I had our local business, and then I had my workspace, and then I had my own personal email. I don't know why I went months before I just forwarded them all to my Google Workspace, and that was such a time saver. And you can even set it, and I have this in the Google Workspace training. You can set it to where when you reply, it will reply from the correct email. Now, it won't reply from your personal Gmail. You would have to go into that inbox and reply in that way. But if you have the professional email domains and you set all of that up inside of Google Workspace, then you can reply. Like I had my local business, I replied as the local business, just
Okay.
Gmail.
I think that's the one thing that I'm figuring out the workaround for is because the Gmail, of course, is so easy for people to log into certain areas that they don't understand. It's actually just as easy if you're using Google Workspace. So if I could get them to wrap their minds around that, then it's an easier transition to using your GHL method versus that. But that was my first hesitation because it was so easy to use my Gmail login. And then I'm now noticing all I have to do is utilize the workspace, which is still Gmail, and it'll function just the same. So that is helping people transition easier. And I
Yep.
hope I'm not talking abstractly and y'all get what I'm saying. Once you purchase your domain inside of your Google Workspace, it is in that same functionality as if you were using a Gmail. You just type your workspace email in there and it'll do the same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like branded Gmail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can set up your Gmail to reply from your domain. So in order, because that case was, I had a client who everyone in the office was using the same Gmail. So they had like company name at gmail.com for years. So everybody was using it like that. So we set up a reply from, and and I did it the reverse. I took their new workspace account and forwarded it to their Gmail because everybody was on that. But when they replied, it would automatically reply. If it came from that Gmail account, they replied, it would automatic. So it's like a warming up process, so to speak. Right.
Yes. Okay.
And when you
Okay.
send an email, you can always use the drop down and say, where do you want this to come from? So that was another way. And this was a client who they had this Gmail for 10 years. And it was like everyone in the office was using that same account. So before we told them, all right, you got to get, this and start using this, we kind of weaned them off it. And eventually they came to as well and said, we're just going to use Workspace. but you
Yeah,
can.
and again, if you guys have any questions about this Google Workspace stuff, go into the learning area because I did a whole series on this.
Yes, it was like life-changing. Yeah.
Oh, Google Workspace is so cool. It's just kind of a beast, and you just have to kind of wrap your head around it. And then once you get it, it's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
They raised their prices though a lot.
Yeah, every software raises prices.
Yeah, I think
Waiting
it
for
went
high
up a
level.
dollar. I was paying 7 something before, and now I'm paying $8.90 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm paying like
Charles?
15.
Charles?
Yeah. Question two part. First part, in regard to Manus, do you have any idea what the rhythm is as far as when they update your points? Because in June, mine was like updated on the 26th, and then last month it was updated on the 2nd. I don't know what's going on this month. I was looking in the usage section to see, but I can't figure out how they update that. I know the 300 daily, but
Yes, when they give you like those complimentary credits, it can be whenever. Like, you know how when you leave you do your conversation and then you like leave a review, you give them the stars or whatever, and you get credits for that. You also get credits for logging in. So when they give you those types of complimentary credits, it doesn't necessarily fall on the day that your subscription is renewed. But obviously, the credits that you're paying for every month, they should be renewed when your subscription renews.
yes, I paid for the year, so I don't know what the date
Oh.
is.
I would check the date that whenever it should be like monthly. Well, I don't know because
Right.
you sign up yearly. So I wonder because some softwares when you sign it's a credit based and then you sign up yearly, they
That's
give
what
you
I was sitting there thinking. Well, dang, they should have just gave me the whole year worth of credits. What are they doing?
I hope that didn't happen and then you just burn through them and now you're like,
No, I looked at my usage. That's how I know the days and stuff. So I was just like, and then okay, I can send them a message, but I didn't want to ask manage because I didn't want to waste credits because I'm on daily credits right now just for that question. And then my second question, which is completely different, engagement scores, and I think I know the answer. If you want to change it manually, you still have to set up a workflow in order to change it manually, correct?
what do you mean by change it manually?
Like if I'm looking at a client, I'm like, I need to add 2 points.
Oh, you can
Then I just need
actually
to throw it in a workflow. I can't. There's no like quick way to do it.
there's a custom field in the profile. Yeah, let me go into this demo account here. Okay, here we go. So once you turn that on in the account in the settings, you'll see
Oh,
engagement score, and then you can click here and add points.
okay. So that should be somewhere in the contact. Okay.
Yeah, just make sure that you go into where it says like manage scoring right here. Just make sure that that is published. Otherwise, it won't start tracking and it won't show up that custom field.
Okay.
Did you find it?
Yes, it's at the very bottom. Ah, okay. Ole. No workflow needed. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Now you can update it if you want to, but
Yeah. But I was looking at some things that I needed to go back and add people points and stuff like that too. So I was just like, I mean, I could do it this way real quick, but it would be really easy if I could just type a number in, So cool.
Yeah.
It's down at the bottom. I just didn't see it because I got a lot on that side. It's like somebody else said on the call. It's like you have to build a plane in the air because I like to test to a certain extent. I keep my test very minimal because then I just want to throw a live client into it because there's some things that you can't test for until you have a live client. And then thank you, Sandy.
Yeah, and I say building it on the runway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you start doing that with a live client, you see, oh, okay, this is what that is, and it's not that big of a deal.
No, and that's exactly why I circled back to this because I'm building it out for my brother, and then I'm seeing what it looks like, what it really looks like from someone that's going through the pipeline, and he's calling me back. He's like, "Man, I have no idea what this is." Right? So it's like, oh, okay, and then it kind of dawned on me that if I have to explain it, that I'm not doing a great job at having the process go to where he could just do it and not bother me. Right? Because that's like the goal. I kind of like want them to go through the process and try to bother me as little as possible.
But in the beginning, and it doesn't matter how good you are I told you guys I'm going to be relaunching the updated version of our snapshot at the end of the year, like I do every year. I just want to wait till the summit, and I'm testing a bunch of things and all of that. But what was the point that I was just making? What did you just say, Tony?
I was talking to, man, I forgot that too.
Flipping it while driving it.
No matter how good you are, you still
Oh,
have to
yes.
test it. And, yeah.
Thank you, Charles.
Inevitably, when I release the new training and all of that, you guys will be like, hey, where's this? And how do I do that? And it's so important, and it's okay, and just expect it. So when you do get those questions, just recreate the video or add a note or something in there that helps to explain it better. But if you're brand new to creating tutorial videos, it's hard to know sometimes, like, what someone who is not you with all of your experience, what questions that they will have. And this is also a lot of times why we release courses in like the beta version. And we say, just releasing a course, and you guys test it out, give me your feedback.
And
These are all normal things.
that's why if you'll notice, like when Bridget does the training, since she switched to Zoom events, she shows us where to go to look for the events and how the lobby and all that other type stuff works. Like I got a vague idea, but I don't really know because I don't really be paying attention when she be talking about that, because I'm like, that's buffer for me at the moment. And then when I really need to know, then I go back and I look at that part. So you start to learn your marketing, your clients. It is the same thing. Like I know I have to train my clients. You always have to train your clients. They're going to, especially initially when they're reaching out, that's great because you're getting feedback, because you're working in isolation. And then once you share it with them, they tell you, hey, this is what I'm really struggling with. And it's going to be something that you probably didn't consider. So then you can make and cater your message towards that. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah. And if you have a new course and you're promoting it as like, hey, here's a beta version of my course or whatever, and you are telling people that, then when they find something like that and they give you the feedback, you're building that relationship, and you have the opportunity to say, hey, thank you so much. That's really going to help me to fine tune this. And now they feel like they were heard and they were validated, and what they said was actually helpful to you. So it's all part of the whole relationship building and experience. So don't use like problems as an actual problem. It's just be transparent, and people are usually so understanding, unless you're just blowing smoke and being like private jet and I'm so amazing, and then you really don't know anything.
I was able to implement that with the last free download that I had, the last free checklist. I listed it as a triage brand fix-it kit, but then when I made the shift into business, I just released another iteration. And when I saw how extensive it was, I went back to Manny and I said, can you break this down into what the person following this kit would have to do, and create me a checklist for each segment? And then that's what I released in August as my Watch Me Work Wednesday. And I said, watch me set up the entire funnel week by week, step by step of how I put this together. So now when people actually start doing it, when they begin to have hiccups or whatever, I'll be able to go back to my own content and say, this is where I explained this in the video. However, a client showed me this, that, and the third, and this is the pivot that we're making to make it better for you. So yeah, like she said, don't look at a problem as a problem. Look at it as something that you can create content around and expand on.
Martina, you have a skill to like make something sound simple, but if you really listen to what you're saying, you realize how complicated it is what's coming out of your mouth. I don't think you realize how complicated.
I'm learning that, Tony. I'm learning just
Martina,
how
just like you
things are.
You just do step 2. By the time she's done, it's like 34 steps. It's like, dang, Martina.
Martina needs to learn to tell Manny, explain it like a 5th grader. So the people
Bridget, I had to do that. I had to do that. It set up my first service agreement, and the service agreement was 18 pages. I said, nobody gonna read this, girl, if you don't go back and simplify this. And she came back with 7 pages. I was like, thank you, because nobody is gonna agree to an 18-page service agreement.
Really,
you got skills. You got skills, Martina, man. You're doing it.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Guys,
What I've also found is when you either do trainings or you're showing people or you're helping them, you're doing support, it kind of, like Tony, you do HVAC, right? I don't know too many HVAC guys that want to mess around with this stuff. they think they can in the beginning, but this is where the done for you transition starts to begin. That's where, you show exactly what you're doing. They're like, wow, there's a lot of work behind this simplicity. And as soon as they start getting value and getting customer, they're like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Could you do this for me? Oh, sure.
That's why creating content to educate our clients, it allows them to decide, do I want to do this myself? Am I capable of doing this myself? Or do I want to hire someone to do it for me? And then if they're making that decision to hire someone, why would they not hire the person that they just saw a series of videos with them doing what they need done?
Right.
I wanted to, before we do the wheel here, I wanted to show you that I did add a video here for on the lobby page because Tony, or I think Charles was just talking about that. I added it here that walks you through the steps of accessing the replay. So that's because I had that constant question. I found a way to answer that question without me having to say it every time. So that was just an example I wanted to show you there. All right. I want to make sure that I have everyone's name here on the wheel before we spin today. So if I do not call your name, definitely let me know. Tony, Raymond, Martina, Charles, Frankie, Keith, Manolo, Maria, Rick, and Sandy. Did I miss anyone? Going once? Twice?
Spin it.
All right. So for those of you watching the replay, or if you're new, whoever wins when we spin the wheel, you get a free private consultation with me. So let's go ahead and spin. Well, it's Keith again.
Go ahead, Keith.
Keith is on a ball.
All right, I'm a lucky guy.
You didn't call my name when it mattered the most.
That's a good one.
Charles, she's just trying to bring us all back up to your level here. Come on, give us a chance.
Really? All right, guys. Keith, I will send you the calendar when we're done here. Thank you all.
Thank you.
So much.
Hold on. I got one question for Charles. Charles, are you related to Chucky T, the Converse guy?
No.
Unfortunately not.
Unfortunately, no.
All right. Just wanted to. Do you wear Converse Chucky T's?
Actually, no.
I do. I always have a pair. They're my old classics.
I got you. Yeah.
Charles is like, that doesn't match my suit that I'm on.
All
All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. As always, I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I will see you all on Monday. Go make your vision a reality.